Hi, welcome to my video. I'm Jennifer Roberts. You're either catching me on my YouTube channel True Divine 44 or my Facebook page True Divine 44. I'm sure it's True Divine 44 and not just True Divine, but check both. Any likes, shares, subscribes, much appreciated. I'm so appreciative of all of the support that I've had thus far. It's been going really great, so thank you to all of you and much love to all of you. If you hear any heavy breathing in the background, I have a sleeping baby who's in a very deep sleep right next to me, so that'll be what that is, I promise. So these readings, I've been putting out some general tarot readings just to help guide and support and inspire, and also give people an idea of what I do. Of course, the clue in the name being general, so some might apply to you, some might not apply to you. It might all apply to you, and it might all not apply to you. Some months might really resonate and some months not. You can always book me for a personal tarot reading that will get to the nitty-gritty of what you want to get to, specifically for your circumstances, the questions that you want answered. So you can always do that through any of the contact details in the drop box below or the information box above, depending on where you're catching this video, depending on what platform you're watching it from. So this reading now is for February, and it's a general tarot reading for the lovely Capricorn. I've got a few Capricorn friends who've only come into my life in the last couple of years actually, and I appreciate Capricorn. It's a very different energy to what I've been used to as a sign, and they just tend not to go with the norm, if you like, in the nicest possible way, which I find very attractive in a person, you know, to be their own individual. So it's a lovely sign. So for this reading, Capricorn, in your past position, you have the Six of Cups. So the Six of Cups being, you're really looking back to, you know, maybe childhood times, happier memories, maybe times with a parent that has passed by. Maybe they've been really, you know, just apparent on your heart lately. Looking back at those memories, with fond thoughts, with fond feelings, you know, it's a nice energy of reminiscing, particularly of childhood. There's also an energy here of past relationships where you might be looking through rose-coloured glasses a little bit to happier times in past relationships. If you're single in particular right now, you might be looking back to something and making it out to be a little bit rosier than it ever was, and so and hankering after something that wasn't quite that. You know, we can warp our memories, and you know, perception is reality. So you know, what we perceive to be reality, we tend to make our reality. So you know, it might not be the same kind of reality in other people's eyes, but you know, you're just thinking back to times gone by, and sometimes we need to be in this energy, you know, just for the bliss of it all, remembering people that we've had in our lives that have either passed from this 3D reality, or just people that have been passing in our lives and have since left our circle. There's also an important message in this card of past lessons learned. We sometimes need to take this time, this space to remember things that have gone by in the past, so that we can, you know, maybe not repeat the same mistakes, or maybe remember what we used to hold dear, and maybe try and hold that dear in our present. Maybe it's some things that we forgot about ourselves, that we forgot we enjoyed, the people that we forgot about and maybe lost along the way for no good reason other than getting distracted in life. So you may be trying to maybe connect with some old friends, which would be a nice thing, I feel, in this circumstance. This card was clarified by the Two of Wands, the Two of Staffs, but it was in reverse. And I just feel like a little bit like right now, well, in the past, in the very recent past, you've had this energy of the world closing in a little bit. You know, you've been really focusing down on times gone by, on this reminiscing energy. And it's been necessary for something for you, specific to you. But you know, the world's shrunk a little bit into past memories. Rather than looking out at this expansive horizon, you know, there's this feeling that, you know, you've really gone within in the recent past to within your mind's eye to just think about these times, these this imprint that you have on your mind of these memories that are long gone. But you know, for some reason there's something that you need to find within those memories. There's something that you're searching for within those memories. Maybe to bring, like I said, to the forefront lessons that you maybe need to learn from, or maybe just to carry that energy with you again. Maybe it's some things that you maybe forgot to remember, and make space and time to remember regularly. You know, maybe it's something that gives you a warmth, a comfort, you know, in particularly a father that's passed by. Feeling, you know, that just maybe some of the words, some of the things that he might have said to you that really at the time didn't seem like lessons, didn't seem like much more than things that your dad said to you. But there's things in those sentences that you may be recalling, and they've got some purpose in your present day. So that would be interesting to look at. In the present moment, you seem to have got a little bit unstuck. You know, maybe you've stayed in this energy of reminiscing of this world closing in and living in past memories for a little bit too long. As I said, it's a good thing, it's a good part of a process to look back and do that with some regularity. But you know, sometimes if we stay in that energy for too long, if we dwell in that energy for too long, then we start sort of living in the past. We've got the Ten of Swords, sorry, here. So you know, there's this feeling of you've been reminiscing here to be maybe putting things to bed, to be making sense of things gone by. The 10 being the ending of a cycle, and you know, on the brink of starting a new cycle. As I mentioned before, lessons that you maybe have wanted to learn from, things that you maybe haven't wanted to repeat. This is encompassed in this Ten of Swords. You know, this wanting to put a closure to a cycle, to a thought process, to thoughts that maybe you've been dwelling on for too long. Maybe you've had some very triggery emotions attached to certain things that have gone on in your past, and part of this reminiscing is to, you know, release that trigger, to get rid of the trigger button, to be able to feel free to look at this, be in this energy of looking back without being triggered anymore. You know, this isn't the 8 of Swords, it's not the 9 of Swords, this is the 10. So you know, you've reached a point where you can look back at this and realize that was an end of the cycle, and you can remember things without being quite so triggered. To clarify, this Ten of Swords comes out the Ten of Swords. So there really is something huge that you're putting a huge closure to, a full stop to. Something that was holding you back, something that was not releasing you, and you've done this work for yourself through this reminiscing, through drilling down and shrinking your world for a little while into just the world of your thoughts, of your emotions that are connected to those thoughts. You've managed to really draw a huge end to a cycle. Maybe you've you've really released yourself from some labels that either others put on you in the past because of certain behaviours that they perceived you to be acting out, or maybe labels that you've put on yourself, limitations that you've put on yourself because of your perception of your past reality. You've really drawn this all to a close. You've brought this into a true ending of a cycle, if ever I've seen one. So that's really important that you've done that, Capricorn, for you. In the future, you've made this connection, I think, while you've been reminiscing, to childhood passions, things that you used to be, because this is the water princess, the page of water. So very childlike, gentle, fun, loving energy. So you've connected something here, you've connected some dots, released some wounds, released some labels, ended some cycles, but you've carried over these happier memories, these lessons that have been learned, and you've been able to embody this very childlike, free spirit energy in the future card. It might depict, some of you might have been struggling with conception. Some of you might have been struggling with that, struggling to get pregnant. This card can sometimes symbolize that you know that's on the way. So it either might be you releasing that struggle, things that you've released in your head, emotions, trigger points that you've taken away. It's taken away that stress, it's taken away that pressure, and somehow, some way where you've been struggling before to conceive naturally, all of a sudden it happens for you. If you're hoping for that, if you're working on that, I send energy to you for that. You know, this is positive. So whether that is a physical conception, or whether that is the universe, you know, culminating these energies for the perfect adoption, or fostering, there's childlike energy here. But there's also childlike energy, like I said, in you, represented in you. You've been able to connect to something that you maybe left behind and forgot about, a side of self, a fun side of self, a carefree side of self that you enjoyed being, enjoyed doing in the past, and you've connected to that again. You've found that part of you again, and you're going to be enjoying that part of you again, and the people around you that love you will also be enjoying that part of you again. And like I said before, if I'm picking up and speaking to somebody who has been struggling to conceive, or struggling to bring plans together to make a family unit, you know, there's definitely this, you know, you've got, because you're embodying this more released mental state with these two Ten of Swords, and embodying this childlike energy, you attract a child, you attract a childlike energy that you've been wanting and planning to have. So that's really awesome and a beautiful thing to see. Messages coming in, maybe messages coming in regarding your past, where you reconnect with those friends that I spoke about in the past, that, you know, are able to be a part of you in the future, embodying this past childlike energy, because they remember you as a child, they remember you in this energy, and they enjoyed it then, and they'll enjoy it now, coming up in the future. So that's a really beautiful side of the reading. And it's inner work again, inner work. You can't go wrong doing inner work, you know, and releasing any trigger buttons, you know, releasing being trigger happy, you know. And so the Ten of Pentacles clarifies this page of water, this Princess of Cups. So, you know, this Ten of Pentacles, like I said, the family energy that I'm picking up on, this is happy home, happy life, happy environment, the people around you, being a happy unit, a whole unit, working together. There's a completion, an accomplishment here. There's like 3 tens here. So you've got 2 10 of swords and you've got a 10 of pentacles. You're really releasing and aligning things here, Capricorn, which is a gorgeous energy to have. But again, the people or person that I'm picking up on that has really been wanting a family, a new addition to the family, or creating a family unit, conceiving, this looks really, really promising for you. You can bring this in. You're bringing everything into alignment, preparing yourself and preparing the home. And the best way that you're doing this in the future, the recent, like, coming up future, is by embodying this more carefree, more childlike energy and releasing those things that you've been wanting to bring in so much. Because in that release process with these tens that you have here, in that release process, you actually make the space, you make the time for this creative energy to work and attract the things that you want most. So that's a gorgeous, gorgeous end to that reading. Not quite the finish though. We have the Star card here as the overall, as the underlying throughout all of this reading. The Star card symbolizing hope, symbolizing the future, yes, and the ability to see, have foresight and an excitement and calmness about the future simultaneously. But also the Star card works very definitely on giving hope, inspiration and guidance and healing for the future, but usually by working on something in the past. That's exactly what you were doing at the start of this reading. In the recent past, you've been working through things of your past. And this Star card is just here to show this, the underlying energy of this whole reading, that you've been guiding yourself through, embodying this energy of the Star card. The universe also, again, attracting it in, like attracts like, you know, the energy of this Star card, this divine feminine supportive energy. The star is a very gentle energy, but it's got that gentle force to it, a little bit like the Hermit, unassuming, but actually she can carry as many scars, this divine feminine energy, this divine feminine side of self, whether you're male or female. She can carry as many scars without them affecting her. She uses them as lessons, as reminders of times gone by. She uses them for hope and inspiration, and guidance for the future. She doesn't dwell on them. She doesn't have these trigger points on them. She just knows that they're there and she doesn't waste them. They go to good use for the future. So this is all about your future really flourishing, padding itself out. You're bringing in the things that you've been yearning for, the things that you've been wanting to manifest for so long. A lot of that being the family unit that you've been wanting. To clarify the Star card, the 9 of Rods popped out. So you know there's this is a busy time. Although you might not be too busy in the outside world, you might be taking time out from that, had some time off work, etc. This is a very busy reading for the inner work, the mental work that you've been doing, the emotional work that you've been doing. Very busy card, but you're getting it done. This is the 9. Again, you're 1 off another 10. These cycles are ending and new cycles beginning, in particular on the home front. So it's a really awesome reading, Capricorn. And I hope that if this reading resonates with you and you're wanting to bring in that family unit or create your existing family unit in a more harmonious way, that this reading really supports, guides and inspires you, because you've obviously been doing the work to attract that in with this 10 of Pentacles. You know, there's celebration to be had here, because you've been doing the work to bring this in. The mental work, the spiritual work, which is so very important. Also, you know, this card represents obviously money, because of the heavy family aspect, the heavy child's energy in this reading. I would say also that you could be looking at family inheritances, land or property maybe, but you know, there's this family thread running through this reading, and then you actually doing the work to release what you need to release, but hold on to what is dear to you and remind yourself to keep looking at it and enjoying it now and again. Awesome reading, very calm energy, with that sprinkle of excitement, the childlike energy. So you know, you're creating, you're manifesting, you're releasing. You're in a good place, Capricorn. There's nothing much more to say other than that for this general reading. Again, if you would like a private reading, get in touch with me with any of the contact details in the information box above or below, depending on where you're catching this. Any energy work, where I help you facilitate the energy within you, guide you to use and draw in the energies that are abundant around you constantly. Get in touch, feel free to do so. Any likes, shares, comments, and subscribes are greatly appreciated, as I said at the start. Much love. Be balanced and be whole, lovely Capricorn.